Okay, rational numbers. A rational number is any number that can be written in the form. Whoa, I'm missing something here. A over B, where A and B are integers. And of course, B cannot be 0. So what this is saying is in the form A over B, right? A fraction, a rational number. Okay, the number on the top is called the numerator. The number on the bottom is called the denominator. A lot of times people remember those terms, numerator and denominator, but they don't remember which one applies to which piece. So think of the D in denominator to help you remember that's the one that's down, right? Down on the bottom. Okay, so the denominator's in the bottom, the numerator's in the top. Numbers greater than 1 can be written either as a mixed number or an improper fraction. An improper fraction has a numerator that's greater than the denominator. A proper fraction has a numerator that's less than the denominator. Okay, so here's an improper fraction. Improper. It can also be written as a mixed number. 3/2 is the same thing as 1 1/2. A proper fraction looks like this, 2/3, where the numerator is smaller. You cannot change this to a mixed number because a mixed number has a whole number part and a fraction part. That's why they call it mixed. Right? So proper fractions can only be written as proper fractions because it's smaller than 1. It can never be written as a whole number plus a little bit more. To convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, you multiply the whole number part by the denominator. So basically I'm going to make, let me change that, I'm going to make a circle like this, where first we multiply and then we add. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. That becomes the new numerator, and your denominator always stays the same. The denominator is the size of pieces that you have to your fraction. So that size isn't going to change. Okay, to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, simply just do the division. So this is 3 divided by 2. Just like when we talked about multiplying, we're now going to multiply with parentheses or dots. We can divide with a fraction bar. This is the exact same thing as saying 3 divided by 2. So if I want to change this to a mixed number, I can do that division. 3 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 one time. Now, I got to add some zeros there, and my decimal goes there. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring the 0 down. 2 goes into 10. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm making a decimal. That's going to be what we're about to do, but let's not do that yet. Let's stop right here instead of adding a decimal. Okay, so 2 goes into 3. Pen, please. 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. And if there's nothing left to bring down, then this remainder is our numerator, and of course the denominator is always the same. So 3/2 or 1 1/2, 1 1/2 or 3/2. Okay, so let's move and give ourselves a little room and practice that for just a minute. Okay, so let's say we had 5 2/3, and I want to write it as an improper fraction. It's a mixed number right now, so I'm thinking I'm going this direction, multiplying and adding. So I'd say 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. That's my new numerator. Denominator stays the same. Okay, converting a mixed number to an improper fraction. What if we started with the improper fraction and I want to write it as a mixed number? This is just 27 divided by 4. Okay, so let's go over and do it. 27 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 2. 4 goes into 27 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. You subtract, and if there's nothing left to bring down, this is your numerator, and the denominator stays the same. Okay? Now, to express an improper or a proper fraction as a decimal, because fractions are decimals, right? Fractions are always decimals. We just do the division, but instead of using the remainder, we're going to do like I did just a minute ago, mistakenly wasn't paying attention to my purpose. So I could still do the same division. 4 goes into 27 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. But when I get to the point where there's nothing left to bring down, I could add a decimal and some zeros, right? I don't know how many yet. And wherever I put the decimal, that's where I put it in my answer. Now I have a number to bring down. 4 goes into 37 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2. I still have another number to bring down. I can put as many zeros as I want. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. And I just keep going until it comes out even. So I also know now that 27 fourths equals 6 3/4 as a mixed number, or 6.75 as a decimal. Okay, any fraction can be converted to a decimal. Okay, it doesn't have to be improper. To change to a mixed number, it has to be improper though. Think about this. What if I had the fraction 1/8? I can't make that a mixed number because it's a proper fraction. But I can still turn it to a decimal. 1 divided by 8. 8 doesn't go into 1, so I'm going to go ahead and add my decimal and some zeros. That means my decimal is going to go right there. Now I can ignore that decimal part. 8 goes into 10 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. Let's subtract. Bring down. 8 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract. Bring down. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40, and there's nothing left over. So 1/8 is 0.125. Okay, so changing a mixed number to an improper fraction, multiply and add, denominator stays the same. Changing an improper fraction, or really any fraction, to a decimal, divide. Right? This is a division bar. Okay. Now, to convert a decimal to a fraction, you need to know our place values for decimals. Well, sort of. If there's a non-zero number in front of the decimal, that will be the whole number part of the mixed number. For example, if I had 7.39, this is not 0, so that's the whole number part, okay, of the fraction. And then I just figure out how many places are under here. In other words, how many digits are behind the decimal, and my denominator is going to be a 1 with that many zeros. Because if we knew our place values, we'd know this is tenths, hundredths, right? But really, I just have to figure out how many digits over there. And then that's how many zeros I put on my 1. And then the numerals behind the decimal point is the numerator. All right. The non-zero number in front of the decimal point is my whole number. Okay, the denominator is going to have a 1 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. But I can really get that without counting it up. And then all the digits to the right of the decimal point is my numerator. Okay. Let me know if you need anything.